Yo, what's up guys, it's Goblin here, welcome to another episode. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about how to get better in Clash Royale, just some general tips and tricks while playing. I'm gonna try and explain my thought process the best possible while playing on this account, where I so far haven't lost a single match since 7,000 trophies. And in today's video, I'm gonna be trying to reach 8,500 trophies live for you guys while playing with this lockpad deck. You can also use this version with the wall breakers. It's pretty much the same exact deck, but it does take away a legendary card for those who maybe do not have it unlocked or maybe do not have it leveled up as much to be able to use it on ladder. So let's get started with game number one and just a general kind of introduction to the video. Let's start off by questioning or answering the question how to improve in Clash Royale, because that is a question I get quite a lot, especially by newer players. I do often get a message and saying like, yo Serge, I just got into Clash Royale. I know you have been playing for many years. I've been playing for 9 years, guys. I have a lot of experience. I've competed. I still sometimes compete. I do content for a long period of time already. So I definitely think I can give you guys a few tips and tricks in today's video. And the most important thing, in my opinion, trying to improve is just like anything in life. When you are trying to improve, let's say by learning a new language, let's say by, I don't know, improving in a specific sports. What do you need to do? Of course, you need to practice. And by the way, this guy's already gonna give up. We do have pretty good levels. I have faced some people which have like all maxed out cards, but most of the times we do actually have a slight advantage of levels. But for example, our Princess Tower is level 13 and this guy had a level 14 Princess Tower. So I guess it kind of depends on the situation, on the matchup. But okay, anyways, let's continue with the story. I'm sorry if it's gonna be sometimes a little bit hard to and play, focus, explain, and everything at the same time, but I'm gonna try and do my best to do it the best way possible. So I was already talking about it, just practicing like as if you are learning a new language, as if you are trying to improve in a sports. What do you need to do? You need to try and involve it, not necessarily in your day-to-day. It kind of depends. If you're really trying to bring it to a next level, you might actually want to go like quite extreme, to the point where you actually like schedule, I don't know, like practice sessions, stuff like that. But in general, just by playing, just by watching other people play, I feel like you're already gonna have a really good situation to improve yourself with. Like I personally, especially when I used to compete, I love watching other people play. Like I remember watching the best ladder players, especially with specific decks. Like there's many people who only focus on one deck. Like for example, me, myself, I wouldn't consider myself a one trick. Okay, let me show a really good tip against the Mega Knight. So Mega Knight, you need to distract it in the middle, and then when it's doing the animation, did you guys note how I waited 1 second on the Ice Spirit for it to do the animation as if it was gonna jump to the tower? That is the best way to counter Mega Knight. You're gonna activate your King Tower by doing so, and you're also gonna get a very good positive elixir trade. You can do that with Dark Goblin Ice Spirit. You can do that with pretty much any troop besides like a heavy tank unit. I would not recommend doing it with, for example, the Valkyrie, because the Valkyrie would just be in the middle, and that would be, yeah, the Mega Knight going down to the Valkyrie instead of you actually activating the King Tower. So very nice counter push there as well. We are gonna, I think, just take the tower. Let's go with the Evil Barrel to keep out the pressure right side lane as well. I kind of lost track, guys. As soon as I saw the level 15 Mega Knight, I was like, okay, let me quickly log in, show you guys how to do it. And basically, to explain it one more time, if the Mega Knight is, for example, coming this lane, ideally you want to play the troop instead of towards the right side lane, towards the left side lane. Let's say, for example, here the Princess, or I guess this would be like the perfect placement. And then note how there are two tells, like one is on the left side of the King Tower towards the left side lane, and one is on the right side towards the right side lane. You want to do it opposite lane. Okay, let me actually try and do it one more time here. Hopefully I will pull it off, guys. Hopefully the Mega Knight is gonna jump. Okay, let's go with Ice Spirit live, and note how the Mega Knight is gonna go towards the King Tower. I think everyone should be able to understand from either the cannon activation or this last time where I did it with the Dark Goblin and with the Ice Spirit. As I said before, you should preferably do it with like low cost cards. So cannon Ice Spirit is 4 elixir, Dark Goblin Ice Spirit is also 4 elixir. You could, if really necessary, also do it with, for example, Princess Dark Goblin, which is still a positive elixir trade, but it's not necessarily like the best play to do, if that makes sense. So very nice defenses so far. We are gonna, I think, win the match here. Only 15 more seconds left to finish the match. 10 seconds remaining. I don't think there's much the opponent can do to break through our defense. So that is a very nice game. Very nice way to show you guys how to deal with the Mega Knight with this deck if you are gonna try and play with this deck after this video, but also maybe with your deck you have, I don't know, let's say like Skeletons, Ice Spirit. It pretty much works with any small distraction troops. You do sometimes need to be careful, because if you do, for example, have Ice Spirit plus Skeletons, and this is maybe a little bit more advanced, sometimes people would go for like an arrow prediction, sometimes people would go for like a Zep prediction, but maybe in lower trophy range, people usually do not expect the opponent to activate the King Tower like that. Okay, so let's continue talking about how to improve, because I feel like many people make the mistake of just playing the game and thinking, okay, I'm gonna improve by just playing, which sometimes is the case, but not always. In my opinion, it's always, as I already mentioned before, very important to watch other people play, because this way you can kind of learn from their plays, from their, I don't know, offensive decisions, defensive decisions, just in general, kind of see their play style. And you can also this way try and get more knowledge about the game by seeing different decks, how they work, because if you know how they work, you also often do know how to play against them. For at least my experience, if I face a specific deck, which I have used a lot, I already know, okay, this deck cycles a little bit more expensive, it's a little bit awkward, this deck has a really quick cycle, so maybe I should try and stay alive in single elixir and be careful about not getting out cycled. This guy gave up, by the way. I think he already gave up. Let's go with Ice Spirit, let's go with the Goblin Gate, let's go with the Valkyrie, so let's quickly do the trick round. So those are, in my opinion, the best tips and tricks. And then also I get many questions about people asking, yo sir, should I focus on one deck, or should I focus on using and practicing multiple decks at the same time? The answer, in my opinion, is quite easy. If you're trying to rank up in trophies, or if you're trying to rank up in ranked, like with the medals, then I would focus on one deck only and try to master the deck the best way possible. Like, try to get to a level where you're like, okay, with this deck, I can beat anything coming my way. I feel like I'm so good at this deck, to the point where even some hard matchups, even some difficult matchups, I should be able to beat it. That is like the ideal situation. But if you're trying to improve and get more like game knowledge, like game sense in general, then I would also recommend using the decks you see posted by, I don't know, for example, some YouTubers. Often I post, for example, top 5 best decks in a meta. And then you can, for example, copy those decks and play a classic challenge with it, play a grand challenge with it. Depending on your level, depending how confident you are, I would recommend either classic or grand challenges. If you, for example, consistently win the classic challenge, then I would say, okay, then go play the grand challenge, because it's much more worth it for the rewards. But of course, it is also much more difficult than a classic challenge. So that is like my main kind of piece of advice about the practice sessions, because I feel like many people just play their deck on ladder and don't really care about that much, how do you say, like improving their overall skill. Like, for example, there are some decks which in my opinion are more difficult to use, some decks which are easier to use. If you kind of have a balance between those decks, like know how to play them, then I feel like you're gonna improve a lot as a player like yourself. Okay, let's go with the princess here. I'm not sure what this guy is using. He does have quite good levels. Like, this guy actually has a lot of level 14 cards. And of course, because of the Royale chef, even though it's level 11, by the way, which I wouldn't really recommend, he's still gonna be able to get level 15 cards on the field. Okay, I don't think we need to drop much. Honestly, I think the cannon would already be enough, but I'm not sure, because maybe that would have been one hit. So I'd rather spend the Goblin Gang here than lose the tower. Okay, let's go with the Dart Goblin. We do have a level 13 Dart Goblin, but still should be able to put in some good work, good damage here with the Ice Spirit. And I think this should be maybe another victory. I'm not sure how much we are gonna push in today's video, guys. The goal was to get to 8,500, but I might even be able to push up higher, especially if the matches keep going like they have been going, because so far we are just destroying everyone. So let's talk a little bit more about the games itself, like the game sense, what kind of things you should take in consideration while playing the game. Because of course, I can easily tell you guys, okay, go play classic challenges, go play ranked with one deck, blah, blah, blah. But what do you need to think about and what is important while playing the game? Like, for example, me, I think I got to a point, not necessarily a level, I think a point is a good way to describe it, that most of the times I'm already thinking about it like automatically, and it's kind of like just the way I play because of all the experience I have. But I know that many of you guys are not gonna think the same way, or are not gonna understand the plays I make in a way that you think about it like in a logical way. So basically what I'm trying to say is that the most important things while playing the game often are counters. Like, think about, oh, he has a level 15 E-Giant. Okay, that is crazy, but I think we should be fine. We do have a cannon, we do have a dart goblin here. So what I wanted to say is, for example, while playing Lockbait, like we are using Lockbait right now, it is so important to think about the spells they have. Like this guy didn't even show a single spell yet, so he might not have a spell besides the NATO. NATO is of course a spell, but when I talk about spells, I'm more talking about, especially when using Lockbait, think about Lock, Barbell, Arrows. Like those are probably the 3 most annoying spells or the most difficult spells to face when using Lockbait. Why? Because they could directly counter your Goblin Barrel. So knowing that he has NATO, I'm actually going to place the Goblin Barrel a little bit more off to the side, just in case he does want to activate the King Tower. It's going to be very hard, as you guys can see there, to activate. So that is also something which is super important. Like many people often stick to the same patterns and often do the same play. Not necessarily that he already tried to do the NATO, like this was just kind of me predicting him trying to activate the King Tower, because he showed the NATO in this spot when he killed the Dart Goblin. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but he killed the Dart Goblin, NATOing it to the Valkyrie. That is when he gave me the information, and that is when I knew that he was running the Tornado, especially like with that information, very important to kind of adapt your playstyle. So let's go with a look right here. This is once again looking very, very good for us. And then if they do, for example, have a Barbell, if they do, for example, have Arrows, if they do, for example, have a Lock, like I mentioned before, which are usually like the main spells and focus points on in a match while using Lockbait, what should you do? I think most importantly, try to keep track of the cards. So basically how Clash Royale works with the cycle, and for those who don't know, if I, for example, let's say I play the cannon, right? Let's just count with me. I play the cannon, I play the Valkyrie, which is 1 card after the cannon. I play a Dart Goblin. Then, for example, here I play the Ice Spirit. I'm gonna go Goblin Gang, and do I have my cannon back? Yes. So how many cards did I use before the cannon is back in cycle? 4 cards for those who, yeah, maybe somehow missed it. That is the same exact thing for your opponent. Like if your opponent, for example, let's say, in this case, this guy doesn't have a good spell, so maybe it's not the best example of a match. Hopefully next match is gonna have like a Lock or something like that to demonstrate in game, like better my how do you say that, like my theory. But basically, if you're trying to outcycle your opponent, you can try and keep track of their cycle by counting the cards they used after the specific counter they used. Like for example, let's say here I go with a Goblin Barrel, right? And he goes with a Lock. Hopefully, I mean, you don't really want to face a Lock, but let's see if he does. Okay, he has a Valkyrie, so he might not have a spell, but basically what I'm trying to say is that if they have a card which is very important against your deck, you should focus on it and kind of count the cycle. I don't always focus on counting the cycle because, of course, like for example, this guy has Arrows. He just used the Arrows. There's no way that he's gonna be back to do Arrows right now. We already have the Goblin Barrel back in cycle. Like, it is very situational, of course, to keep track of the cycle, but it's very important to think, okay, he doesn't have the Arrows in cycle. He does have Valkyrie. Last time he played the Valkyrie on the backside of the tower. I think we might try and go with a Goblin Barrel here in front. Hopefully he's not gonna have another spell besides the Arrows, which could be the case. If they have multiple spells, then it's a little bit harder to keep track, but most of the times you should be able to keep track of one of the spells without too big of a problem. So let's see, he does go with a Mega Knight. The Mega Knight is a little bit more into the left side lane, so we need to be careful here, guys. Let's actually go with a Dart Goblin. The Dart Goblin is already gonna activate the King Tower with the Firecracker, so instead of going with the Troop here on top of the Mega Knight, I decided to go with Valkyrie up high. This way it's a little bit, okay, we need to be careful with the Mega Knight. Oh my god, that almost jumped. Quick reaction, or a little bit late reaction, but just on time with the Ice Spirit Lock to take care of the Dart Goblin, and let's keep the pressure. What I love doing with the Evil Barrel, by the way, is to double lane pressure, because of course you always double lane pressure, but what I mean with double lane pressure, have at least some kind of troop go into the fake barrel lane as well, like a Goblin Gang, like an Ice Spirit, even a Valkyrie tanking. Those type of situations can force out and a lot of elixir, and often do get you a ton of damage as well. Okay, so far looking very good, guys. The cycle, you don't always need to think about like all of the cards. I personally don't even do that. I most of the times just focus on the most important cards. In this match, I would say the most important card is probably like Arrows, Mega Knight. He's gonna go Mega Knight, he's gonna go Firecracker. Let's try to do the defense we did before. Note how I placed the Ice Spirit one tail higher. I'm gonna go with the Ice Spirit right here. I did mess up the timing a little bit, so I'm gonna have to also spend the Dart Goblin. That is very important, the timing. I did do it correctly in the other match where I defended the Mega Knight. This time I placed the Ice Spirit too early, and that is a very good situation actually for me to misclick it to show you guys what you should not be doing, because if you go with a cannon and you go with an Ice Spirit instantly, instead of the Mega Knight jumping, it is actually just gonna walk towards it and it's not gonna go towards the King Tower instantly. Like, that is very, very important. It might not seem like a lot, but that small difference, like, that can actually change the entire outcome of the match. So let's go with the Valkyrie here. Let's wait a little bit for the Furnace to spawn the Fire Spirit. Let's go with the Lock. Let's go with the Goblin Gang. And that is gonna be a nice and easy victory once more. So very nice push so far. I'm not even sure if we're already getting close to 8,500. Let me quickly back out, guys. I think we do first have to open some lucky drops. There you go. I've been playing quite a bit on this account, by the way. Let me know if you guys want to see more content. Trying to, for example, get to, I don't know, 15k trophies. I think it would be hard because I don't have this deck maxed out, but that would actually be a nice challenge. Trying to reach it with kind of an underlevel deck. We do have some cards level 15, like for example Goblin Gang, Goblin Barrel, but then we have some level 13 cards as well. I think that will be a very nice and interesting challenge to do. For sure, we are one win away from 8,500 trophies. That is awesome. Let's quickly claim all these rewards. Let's see if we get something good. Looks like nothing too special, but anyways, always nice to continue to unlocking, upgrading cards, especially in a new account. It always feels kind of nice because, for example, me on my main account, I do have everything maxed out already. So when I open a chest, I'm like, I don't really care if I get something good anyways. Same thing for the lucky drops, unless it's like a book of something, then it is kind of helpful. But of course, newer accounts, upgrading them, it's very nice. Okay, let's see. So we do get a ton of damage early on here already. Looks like he's preparing for a big Bridgeman push. Let's go with the Ice Spirit here. Let's go with a Valkyrie here as well. Very good Ice Spirit. Note how the Ice Spirit still jumped and still freezes everything. Valkyrie is gonna go down, so we're gonna have to respond with a last second lock. We're gonna take a little bit of damage, but considering how much elixir he just spent at the bridge, I would say that was a pretty solid defense right there. So I'm thinking about other stuff I can talk about for you guys to kind of like, I don't know, improve in the game itself. But I would say most of the times it's just you guys practicing, you guys improving, learning from either your mistakes, learning from watching other people play. Like, there's not necessarily something I could tell you guys right now and like, okay, you're gonna get a really, like, you're gonna improve a lot by doing this. I'm thinking about some tips and tricks I maybe forgot to mention, but I would say overall it's just, yeah, playing, practicing, and that is pretty much the most important part. Oh, the Bandit is unfortunately not gonna dash on top of the Valkyrie. I tried to place it towards the middle, so maybe the Bandit would have dashed as well. Unfortunately, it's not the case, and he's gonna use, oh, he used both spell, guys. I think with the tower being this low, I rather spend the normal barrel on the left side because the Valkyrie anyways got a lot of damage. So left side tower is almost gonna go down. Well, the right side tower did take way more damage than we would have done with the fake barrel. So note how I'm already trying to think, okay, left side tower is most likely gonna go down or almost go down. Then instead of using the normal barrel towards the left side, I went with the normal barrel towards the right side to even get more damage on that lane. Okay, let's go with the Princess. Let's go with the Ice Spirit here towards the left side. If the Ice Spirit jumps, I think that is tower down. There you go, tower does go down. And did this guy just give up? I think he just gave up because he's not playing anymore. Let's go with the Valkyrie. Let's go with the Goblin Gang. Let's go with the Golden Barrel. And we are gonna, with this victory, get to 8,500 trophies. And I don't know since, like, when is the last time I lost? But I know for a fact that since 7,000 trophies, all the way until where we are right now, we haven't lost a single match, guys. So that is 1,500 trophies without losing a single match. Look at my match history, a bunch of victories, well, only victories. This last match is at 7,412 trophies, but I remember, yeah, since 7,000, I haven't lost a single match. So Arena 22, 8,500. We can play a couple of matches with the Wall Breakers version for those people who do not have the lock on a high level or maybe don't even have it unlocked yet. So let's give it a good luck. Let's see what he's gonna be running. It's pretty much the same thing. I would say the only difference with not having any spell is that you need to be careful against, I don't know, bait type of decks, lock bait, skeleton barrel. Those type of cards could get a little bit tricky. But we have Valkyrie, we have Cannon, we have, I would say, really good answers against bait type of decks as well. Like those type of cards I just mentioned, we should be fine. And what is this guy doing? Is he not playing? Hello, my friend, wake up. Wait, what? Okay, he's not playing. So I guess we are gonna get another victory. I actually want to face someone who is playing. I'm not sure why this guy isn't even playing a single card. But I guess we are just gonna take the victory. We're gonna take the left side tower, right side tower, and let's quickly try and 3-gun him as well. Not sure what happened, but this guy loaded into a match and decided to not even play a single card. So, okay, my friend, good game, very well played. That was a very close match that actually was, yeah, very tense. I'm sure everyone watching the video right now loved that match and learned a lot. So anyways, let's hop into the next match right away. This is, as I said, the same exact version we have been using so far in the video. The only difference is that I now have wall breakers and we do not have a single spell. Okay, let's start off by Goblin Barrel. So let's think about, okay, what is the opponent using? Look at this, guys. He already gives us good information about his deck. He has a Goblin Barrel, which is gonna be a little bit more difficult to deal with now that we do not have the lock. We should try and keep our Goblin Gang. We should try and keep our Valkyrie in cycle for that. Let's go with a Princess. Let's wait 1 second for the Mega Knight to make the animation, and then we go with Ice Spirit. Do you guys notice the 1 second delay on the Ice Spirit? Instead of going insta Princess and Ice Spirit, I go Princess, I make the Mega Knight jump. Mega Knight is like looking for its next target to jump on, and then you go with the Ice Spirit. Like, that small detail is so important, guys. Practice it yourself, maybe with a friend, a clanmate, whatever, if you have never pulled off this activation, because in my opinion, it's so important if you guys can defend the Mega Knight for this little elixir. Like, did you guys notice how much elixir we spent on a Mega Knight? And also activate the King Tower? Like, that is just huge. And you guys might think, yo, Serge, but look at your King Tower. Honestly, most of the matchups do not even go into a 2-tower or 3-tower situation. I would say that if you play well with this type of lockbait deck, you should ideally never lose a tower. Like, it's of course easy to say, but in my opinion, most of the times you should never try and lose a tower. I'm gonna try and show you guys a pro tip with the Valkyrie. If we do manage to pull it off, it's basically as soon as you see a Goblin Barrel, you go Valkyrie behind the tower and it would splash all of the goblins. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen this play, but it's not easy to pull off. But if you do like time it, if you do react instantly, then it is able to fully counter that. But I think maybe here we shouldn't go for it because we do have to take care of the Mega Knight. I'm gonna go with a Valkyrie here in the middle. Very important to play it in the middle because this way all 3 towers are gonna shoot the... Ooh, nice barrel placement by him. Let's actually go with a Princess here to help out a little bit as well. And that should be still a nice and pretty solid defense. Let's go with a Golden Barrel here. Let's go with wall breakers. I'm gonna try and keep the pressure as much as possible, especially now that he does not have the arrows in cycle. Wall breakers are gonna get a double connection. Both the version with and without the wall breakers, in my opinion, is super solid and super fun as well. Okay, this guy's gonna try and pressure with a Mega Knight. He's gonna try and build a big push. I'm at this point just gonna try and keep out the pressure towards the 3-crown. Let's go with Ice Spirit here as well. That should be 3-crown, right? I think he is... Yeah, he's not even gonna try and play anymore. He is sending some evos. Let's give it a good game. And then it's gonna be another victory. So let's go, guys. I think I'm gonna play like 1 or 2 more matches. I'm thinking about some stuff I maybe could have mentioned, talked about. I'm thinking about some potential questions you guys could be asking in the comment section about, I don't know, maybe about this deck, maybe about general like Clash Royale. I think I talked about pretty much everything, right? Like, I talked about how to improve, I talked about practicing, I talked about the cycle, like the 4 cards you need to use to then have a card in cycle. Like, for example, here arrows is a really good example of a spell which is important to keep track of. So, ooh, the wall breakers. Okay, I'm actually dumb. I split the wall breakers. Well, he has a level 14 Princess Tower. I should be using those together. And he's level 15 E-Barbs, guys. Okay, this is gonna be a scary match. E-Barbs Rage. Oh my god, this is a mid-ladder menace. But note how I already have the barrel back in cycle, guys. And he only used 2 cards after the arrows. He also has a lock. He still doesn't have the arrows in cycle. Like, note how he only now has the arrows back in cycle. How do I know that? Because he used Elite Barbarians, which is 1 card, Rage, which is 2 cards, then he used the lock, and then he used the Firecracker. So now he has the arrows, and there you go. He does use the arrows to kill the Dart Goblin. Okay, very nice activation against the Firecracker. Always important to activate the King Tower. Not sure if you know. I think it's probably the easiest King Tower activation in Clash Royale. Most of the people do always pull it off, but you can basically just use your Ice Spirit or any troop around the tile I'm hovering right now. Fire Spirit will shoot the Ice Spirit, will shoot the troop, can work with a Knight, can work with a Valkyrie, it can work with pretty much any troop, and you will get the King Tower activated, which I would say in any matchup, maybe besides matchups like, for example, X-Bow, Royal Giant, like troops which shoot either from their side of like really far away, but besides that, it's always helpful. Like, in my opinion, it's always worth it to activate the king tower, because anyways, you do not want the firecracker to hit your tower. So why wouldn't you try and, yeah, how do you say, activate it? Okay, let's go with a Valkyrie here. Let's go with a Goblin Gang. This is actually looking kind of scary, guys. I think I might have to pull the P.E.K.K.A. backwards with wall breakers. Let's go with a Princess here as well. He is going to rage up the P.E.K.K.A. We need to make sure we have some more distraction. I think I'm going to have to Goblin Barrel here as well, because that is a level 15 P.E.K.K.A. This guy is the perfect definition of a mid-ladder menace. He has really good levels. He has level 15 P.E.K.K.A., level 15 Eobarbs, level 14 Evolved Wizard. Like, this guy definitely does not have a under-level deck at all. Okay, nice. We are gonna have to defend this once again. This is the beautiful thing about the wall breakers. I love the wall breakers on defense because you can often pull a troop like away from, well, in this case it is gonna go down to the bar because of the lock knocking it back, but still overall the wall breakers, if you are gonna use this version, you can use it in a very nice way defensively as well. Like offensively, it's of course very strong. And this guy had triple spell, by the way. Like, note how I'm running lock bait, and this guy had lock, rage, arrows, and he still wasn't able to deal with all the spam, with all the pressure we have, just because of how nice we cycle, how nice we divide like the defense, the offense. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do want to see more content on this account, please let me know. We went from, I don't know when we started the video. Let's see, where did we even start? I think we started at like 8,300. Yeah, here, I think here we started 8,305 and we end on 8,603. So very nice video, very nice push. Hopefully you guys could learn something from today's video. If you guys want to see more content on this account, please let me know. I would love to try and get to like 10K, maybe even higher. Even though we do not have this deck fully maxed out, I think we still should be able to pull it off. Not easily, but if we lock in, if we focus, it should be a very reachable goal. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As I said before, if you did, please make sure to smack the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in one of my next videos. Take care, guys.